much. I appreciate that, and man, I'm just excited to be on. Thank you, Jason. Man, it's good to see you again, even though it's virtually. You too, Eric. Great job this morning, and Ed, man, great to see you in that beautiful view and that penthouse condo you got, man. I hope you and Yvonne are doing incredible. I just want to thank y'all for having me on this morning. It's always humbling for anybody to be able to ask our story or anything that we can do maybe to help y'all take your business to the next level. But man, I'm excited to be on. I think for those of you guys that are here at training on Saturday morning, you're serious about changing your life. You want to do something big. And I hope that I can help you that when you get done today, that you can not only take some knowledge or maybe a different perspective, but then some things that you can apply and go change your life. I'm going to start real quick and just give you a brief overview of our story, and then I'll go into some things that I think will help you grow your business. Kelsey and I, we got recruited into Primerica. I had actually got recruited in 2004 before Kelsey and I had started dating, right? We were just kids. I was 19 years old at that time. Kelsey was still, I think, 16, 17 years old. And so I got recruited into Primerica, and I was one of those kids that showed up to an op meeting and I filled out my IBA and I quit before the ink dried, right? And some of y'all know those people, right? You recruited somebody, they said, oh man, they were a young kid or whatever. And but for some reason, Brandon Neal followed up with me. He kept following up with me. And a year and a half later, I was doing advertising and marketing, working for Kelsey's mom. And y'all, I loved what I did. I've never had a job to where I made an hourly wage. So I was in advertising and marketing, and I got paid commission, and I loved it. I'm creative. I'm an artist. I really like that stuff. And so seeing my own commercials on TV, billboards around town, magazine, print articles that we would do, it was a lot of fun. And I never really saw myself doing anything different. I was 19, 20 years old. My smallest income month in advertising was 7,000. My biggest was 12,000. And I think when you're 19 years old and you're making, around 10 grand a month, and you feel like life is good. And that was me. I felt like my life was good. I was having fun. And, but I got my pay cut. And I don't know if any of you guys have ever got your pay cut. If you didn't get a raise last year, you got your pay cut because inflation, they say, was 7%, which we all know was like 20%. And so if you didn't get a 10, 15, 20% pay raise at your job last year, you actually got a pay cut. And for me, when I got my pay cut, I can't even tell you how frustrated I was. I felt like, that man, I worked my hardest. I gave it everything I had, and yet they still cut my pay. And I never thought it would happen to me. I always thought it might happen to somebody else, but here I was working for my mother-in-law. She would never cut my pay. But one of the things I realized is that corporate America does what they do, right? And what they do is make a profit. I can't be mad at them for owning a business and wanting to make a profit and thinking that they're paying me too much money, which, from a business perspective, if I own the business, somebody else would do the same job for less money, right or wrong. And so they could love me as much as they want, but if they're paying me too much money, they're paying me too much money. And their job is not to pay me more money. Their job is to make a profit, right? That's what a business does. And so, I got my pay cut. Brandon Neal had been following up with me for a year and a half, and I didn't think I could do Primerica. I always believed in Primerica. I knew what Primerica did was good. I knew my family needed Primerica. They needed the products. They needed the services. I knew everybody I knew needed it. I just didn't think I could do it. And my wife and I had started dating, and I took her to a meeting. And I'll never forget, Brandon Neal was speaking. He was making about 30 grand a month at the time. And she's elbowing me the whole time going, why aren't you doing this? And I'll never forget. I just say, I go, it's a lot harder than it looks. And she goes, Jeff, I don't care how hard it is. He made 30 grand last month. We're going to do this. Now, my wife is a social butterfly, loves talking to people. She's very outgoing. And I'm not. I'm an introvert, right? I mean, I love people. I just don't have a whole lot to say to somebody I don't know, and I've just never been that guy to go out and talk to a bunch of people. If we're at a party, I'm always the guy standing on the wall, people watching, and I love people. I just didn't have a whole lot to say. So I didn't think I could do Primerica. But my wife talks us into getting started. We start April of 2006. And that first 12 months, we qualified for regional vice president. We gave up 100% of our team, and we moved from Southern Utah, which is where we grew up in a small town. And we moved up to Boise, Idaho in 2007. And we were scared to death. We had no money saved. I was 21. Kelsey was 19 years old, and we were just kids, had no money saved, brand new RVPs, moved to a brand new area, didn't know anybody there. And our first 12 months there, we made 115,000. In fact, by the 10th month of being in Boise, we were making 20 grand a month. So we moved to a city, didn't know a single person. 10 months later, making 20 grand a month. And then that was 2007 to 2008. And as you guys know, a horrible recession hit the United States at that time. People were losing their homes, they're mailing their keys back to the bank. And we looked at it as an opportunity. I didn't see this as a bad thing, right? I looked at it like, man, the greatest opportunity in the history of the world. We had a recruiting moment. We had a moment where we could recruit these dudes that in 06 and 07, they were making $300 grand a year flipping homes. They were all the kind of stuff happening right now in America. You guys see, this was happening in 04, 05, 06. 07, and we saw it. And so when the crash hit, I went, man, we got an opportunity of a lifetime. And so we just took advantage of it. And in 2008, we made 220,000. In 2009, we made 465,000. I was 24 years old that year. Kelsey was 21. So since we were about 23, we were making 40 grand a month or more. Kelsey was 20 years old. I was 23. We started making about 40 grand a month. By the time I was 25, I was a cash millionaire, and we started getting comfortable. I mean, it's an easy thing to do. And so we moved from Boise, July 4th of 2011. We moved from Boise, Idaho to Las Vegas, which is only about an hour and a half away from where we grew up. But we moved to Las Vegas to start over from scratch. And it took us about 4.5 years. We started from scratch, and we added 400 grand to our income. We became senior national sales directors, and we became multi-millionaires. Just to think at the age of 35, we had an 8-figure net worth. Just is crazy. I mean, I grew up in a single wide trailer. My mom never made more than $14 an hour. I was raised by a single mom. And I just wanted to be somebody. I want to do something special in my life. And if you're that kind of person that's on here today, I want you to know a couple of things. Number one is you can do this. Right? I don't care who you are, where you come from, what you look like. You're outgoing, you're an introvert. It doesn't matter to me. You can do this and you can win big here. And I think another thing that it doesn't matter what you want out of Primerica, whether you want to make an extra $500 a month, you want to make an extra $1,000 a month, you want to become a multi-millionaire, you can accomplish your dream because of Primerica. And you've got to believe that, and you've got to know that you're at the right place at the right time with the right team, with the greatest leadership in the history of Primerica. I mean, you all know you got incredible leadership, and I think it's an important thing to understand. But I think the most important thing that you can understand is that what's happening right now in America gives you an opportunity that you have a chance to go do something special. And now, is it the last time it's ever going to happen? No. But usually an incredible opportunity happens like this once about every 10 years. And you guys have a chance. I believe we are seeing the great migration of the employee right now. We're watching it happen, right? They're calling it the great resignation. Employees are quitting in droves, and they're leaving in new companies. They're starting their own businesses. I mean, today people are more entrepreneurial than ever before. The question is, are you going to provide enough value? Are you going to provide a message that's loud enough that they want to join you? They want to work with you, that they know that they can achieve their goals and dreams going into business with you. And the question is, are you speaking loud enough? Are you casting a big enough net so that they know you even exist? Because your biggest problem right now is obscurity, right? Not enough people know what it is that you do, like you and trust you and want to go to work with you. If you can cast that big enough net and that message loud enough, I promise you, you're going to build a hierarchy that's bigger than you ever imagined. And there's never been a better time than today because of what's happening in our country with all the technology that exists. I mean, in 2008, the last recession that happened, we couldn't do a Zoom meeting. I mean, it didn't even exist. It wasn't even an opportunity, right? We still had flip phones. It wasn't even that long ago, And so you think about what's happening in our country today. You think about what's happening in the company today. There's just never been a better time. So I want to talk to you guys real quick about what I think that will help you explode your business, and some of the things that we really focused on to take our business to the next level. And that is recruiting. And before I do that, I want to just kind of show you some quick numbers. And these are where we're at, right? If you look in June of 2007, which is right after we went RVP, we'd just given up our replacement. And I went RVP, if you can see, May 29th of 2007. So the 1st of June was our first month as regional vice presidents. We had 5 codes, right? Those 5 codes were me, my wife, I don't know, and a couple other people, right? So we had 5 codes. It was just us pretty much to begin with. And you see 1 year later in our base shop, we had 50 codes, right? So we went from 5 codes to 50 codes. And that's why we went over 100,000 in income. But if you look at 24 months later, we had 480 codes, right? 189 of them were in our base shop. 480 of them were in our hierarchy. So now we're starting to develop a hierarchy. You can see that we had 5 first generation RVPs at that time. We were actually NSDs. We'd just gone NSD. And then in April of 2011, we had 550 codes, 271 in our base shop. So here we were in 2007, and less than 4 years later, we went from 5 codes to less than 4 years later, 550 codes. And that's what's going to change your life. I mean, the fact of the matter is, I don't care who it is. I mean, if you have 500 codes in your hierarchy, you're gonna be making some money, right? You're gonna be living a great life if you have 500 codes. And a lot of times people will ask, hey, well, how do I get that many codes? But it's like putting the cart before the horse, right? You've got to get enough recruits coming in before you can think about licensing enough people. And so I really started focusing on recruiting early on, and I'll talk about why here in a second. But here's what it did to our income, right? In December of 2007, that year, we made $7,000. December of the next year, we made 13,000. But December of 2009, we made 40,000. I mean, this is in December, right? So I want you to know, in December of 2009, I think I was 23 years old. So here we were, 23. Kelsey was 20 at the time. She's 3 years younger than I am. Here we were, 23 and 20 years old, making 40 grand a month. And that's how fast your life can change, right? You can go from making nothing to 40 grand a month in a short amount of time. And that happened because of codes, right? Because if you have enough codes, you can do a certain amount of production. And so one of the things early on is that I bought into recruiting. See, I was young coming into Primerica. I didn't believe I could do this. And that was a benefit for us. See, a lot of people say, man, I don't believe I could do this. Well, that's okay if you don't believe you can, but do you believe someone else can? Yeah, then recruit them. See, I believed in Primerica. I knew what Primerica did. I just didn't believe in myself yet, but I believe somebody else could do it. So I believe if I believe in Primerica and I believe somebody else could do it, then I should recruit them to this. And if I can override, see, the benefit of overrides is you don't have to be the most talented. You just got to be willing to recruit the most talented. And that's the beauty of Primerica. You don't have to be the best. You got to find the best. That's your job, is to recruit and train the best. And if you choose to do that, your dreams are going to come true in Primerica. I mean, it's just a fact. Your dreams will come true in Primerica if you decide to become a recruiter. And so if you're going to do that, first and foremost, you got to quit your job, maybe just in your mind right now. Maybe you say, well, Jeff, I'm making 100, 150, 200,000 on my job. I can't quit my job today. Well, I think you could. I don't think anybody needs a job. That's society programming you thinking you need that job. You don't need it. I've never had an hourly paying job in my life. Never. Nobody's ever paid. I've never got a paycheck for a salary, right? I ain't renting my life away for nothing. You can't afford me, right? And so I've never had an hourly paying job. So I think if you're going to win big, first of all, you got to quit your job. And so right now, maybe it's just in your mind, but if you want to make your dreams come true, it's not going to happen at a job. A job wasn't meant to fund your dream life. If it was meant to fund your current life. If a job was meant to fund your dream life, you'd be living your dream life. You know, right now we're doing a bunch of, we're redoing our backyard and, you know, doing all this stuff in our backyard. And this young guy comes over and he goes, he starts asking me about money, right? And about how he can get wealthy or whatever. And he goes, man, my dream is to retire in my 30s. I go, well, that ain't ever going to happen with a job, bro. If you're going to get rich, if you're going to get wealthy and you're going to do it early, You got to own what you do. You got to own a business. It ain't ever going to happen working for someone else. And if the fact is, if you have a job, you're living on the lonely island of poverty in a land of prosperity. See, America wasn't designed for you to prosper as an employee. It wasn't designed that way. You hear all these people complaining, oh, I need more money. My job don't pay me enough. You knew how much you were going to get paid when you got the job. You knew how much they were going to pay you. I never understood how people think they have integrity when they get a job. Someone offers them a job. They offer them a paycheck. They say, we'll pay you X amount. You accept the job, and then you complain and you protest and crap about how much that job ain't paying you. You knew how much they were going to pay you when you got the job. You knew it wasn't going to make your dreams come true. So instead of complaining about what happened, how about you change? How about you say, you know what, there is a way, and that way is to own a business. That way is to build a hierarchy. That way is to grow recruiting, and I could change my life, and I could go prosper, and I could do something special in my life, because you don't ever look around and see someone who's an employee living a dream life. It don't happen. See, if your dreams are going to come true, they're going to come true because of the unlimited time and unlimited money. That's how dreams become a reality. Unlimited time and unlimited money. At a job, you have limited time because you work by the hour, and you have limited money because they pay you by the hour. So the only way your dreams come true is unlimited time and unlimited money. And you know how that happens in Primerica? Overrides. Can y'all say it with me? Overrides. I want to hear it louder. Overrides. See, you got to love overrides. You got to love overrides. Love it. You got to believe in overrides. You got to sell overrides. That's what makes our business special, is overrides. Some of y'all, you hide from overrides. Oh, so you're going to make money off me? Well, no, not right. Yes. I'm going to teach you to do the same thing, right? So if you're going to make big money in overrides, you got to build a team. You got to build a team. And if you're going to build a winning team, you got to prepare not just to play, you got to prepare to win. See, there's a big difference. A lot of people say, man, I'm going to do Primerica, but there's a big difference between someone who decides to do Primerica and someone who decides to win at Primerica. See, this morning, I watched Eric doing recognition, and the people getting recognized, they're people that decided to win. They didn't just decide to play Primerica. They decided to win at Primerica. There's a lot of people decide to play Primerica, but you don't win by playing. You win by deciding to win, by preparing to win. And so today, we're not going to talk about preparing to play the game. We're going to talk about preparing to win the game, right? So I want you to think about a couple of things, because this is all mindset. Y'all understand, anybody who wins, the only thing, if they're beating you, the only thing they have on you is this between your ears. That's it. That's it. I promise you guys, some of these guys making big money that you put up on pedestals and you think they're heroes and all this kind of stuff. And they're incredible people. And you think, oh man, they're doing this or that, and they're this much better than me. They're not. They just think differently than you. And that's it. And if you can learn to think the same way, then you'll take the same actions. And if you take the same actions, you're going to get the same results. So understand this, all right? 70% of Americans start school but don't get a degree. 70% of Americans that actually, of the 30% that start college, 27% get a bachelor's degree. And of those with a bachelor's degree, their average income is $72,000 a year gross. Yeah, it is disgusting, but that's not what I mean. I mean before taxes, right? It is gross how little income that is, right? You can't live a good life on 70 grand a year, maybe 70 grand a month, but not 70 grand a year. So it's disgusting because you make 70 grand a year, then you got to pay taxes. So what that means is that 73% of Americans start school but quit before they get a bachelor's degree. 73%. Now you think all these kids that start school at the beginning of the year, we tell them when they start kindergarten or when they start seventh grade or they start high school, and we say, hey, just so you know, only 27% of y'all are going to finish this. Congratulations. Most of y'all quit. Hey, where'd all the quitters go? Do we talk like that? No, we think about the people that succeeded, the people that went through it, right or wrong. Think about the gym, right? Of 100% of people that join, 80% of those people quit after 5 months. We get to the beginning of the year and everybody got these New Year's resolutions. Oh man, I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to go to the gym every day. Man, this is my year. 80% quit after 5 months. 18% of people with a gym membership show up at least once a week. That means 82% of people that go to the gym quit. And of the 18% that show, 13% of those, 13% of the 18%, which is a small percentage, use a trainer. What does that mean? Only 2% of people that join a gym get a coach. And think about it. I mean, it is, let's be honest, you guys. I mean, in the world today, we got COVID going around. Odds are if you're overweight, you're going to have a negative impact from all this stuff happening. Right? But people are scared to tell you, like, hey, if you're overweight and fat, odds are you're not going to have a good result from this. So why don't you go get in shape? Because it ain't comfortable. That's why most people don't want to get in shape, because it hurts. It's uncomfortable. You're going to be sore. And there's going to be mornings you're going to wake up. You don't feel like going to the gym. But this is why you need a coach. You need someone to tell you, get out of bed. Let's go. Right or wrong? It's no different at the gym than it is in business. But only 2% of people do it. This is why it's normal in America to see somebody fat and overweight, but it's rare. I mean, tell me, you guys, isn't it rare you see a male? I mean, let's just talk. I'm a male in our country, right? So it's rare that you see a male in their 30s and 40s in great shape. It's rare. But it's also rare you see a male in their 30s and 40s financially successful. And that doesn't mean it's small numbers. There's millions of people that do it. But I mean, if you walk into a crowd of people, it's more than likely you're going to see most men in that crowd are going to be overweight. Why? Because it's uncomfortable to be in great shape. It takes discipline. It's no different with success. Let's look at real estate in business, right? Did you know 87% of people that get a license quit within 5 years? Only 12% of real estate agents. You guys, to get a real estate license, I don't know how it works in the state you're at, but it's a lot of work in most states to get a real estate license. 12% of agents make more than one sale. Only 12%. So what is my point behind all this? 72% of people that start school quit. 82% of people that start the gym quit. 87% of people that start real estate quit. So what's the point? People quit, but not everybody. Not everybody. See, people quit, but not everybody. See, there's more poor people than there are rich people. There's more people going to hell than there are to heaven. There's more dumb people than there are smart people. And there's more undisciplined than there are disciplined. And there's more people going to quit than stay. But systems still produce success. See, the reason why you haven't bought into recruiting because you're worried about people quitting. You're worried about, man, am I not doing a good enough job? Why do these people quit? That's what quitters do. Quitters will quit on their mama. That's what they do. Why do smokers smoke? Because that's what smokers do. If they quit, they quit. Why are you trying to change a quitter? That's who they are. You're not trying to change a quitter. You're trying to find a winner. Colleges still thrive. They still build gyms. Real estate is still growing. Why? Because when you add more this month than last month, you raise the ceiling on your business. And that's all they're thinking. I promise you, colleges ain't worried about how much money you make when you graduate college. They could care less. They got their money and you can't claim bankruptcy on it. You owe them. Gyms don't care if you show up and get in shape. They just care if you pay your membership dues. Real estate don't care if you sell a house. They just care you pay your monthly dues. So you got to think about this like a business owner. See, people quit in Primerica too. It ain't no different. People are people. You know, the thing I learned early on, I read a Steve Jobs autobiography. And one of the things he talked about there, he says, so many companies are trying to change human nature. They're always trying to fight human nature. He goes, our business exploded when I decided to stop trying to change human nature and work with it instead. So listen, people are going to quit. And understand this, you're going to train people and they're going to quit just like untrained people are going to quit. Licensed people quit just like unlicensed people quit. Now, there are odds to those things, but people still quit. But you can't get caught up in that. Why? Think about this. I'm a Christian. I follow Jesus. Think about this. Jesus raised people from the dead. He made blind see again. He turned water to wine. He healed the sick. He fed thousands and thousands of people with a couple of loaves of bread and a few fish. But he still couldn't save everybody. Still people quit on him. I mean, can you imagine being that dude, right? Forever, known forever for eternity. You're the dude that quit on Jesus. But it happened, didn't it? It happened. So why do you think people are going to quit on you? Why do you think that you're going to recruit 10 people and all 10 are going to stick? And if they don't, you're a loser. See, that's not the truth. People are going to quit. It's okay. You can't get them all. You're not trying to. All you're trying to do what? Is grow. Why? Because when you grow, when you have recruiting growth, I want to say that again. All you're trying to do is grow. I want you to say that again. Grow. Your job is to grow. See, when you have recruiting growth, you add to the core by beating turnover rates. So you say, well, Jeff, but isn't it important to retain people? Yes. In fact, Ed has been in many meetings with the home office that I've been in there, and my number one topic is retention. How do we retain the people that we get? Retention is very important. You want to know how you retain people? You build them a team. You build them a team. And the way you build them a team is to grow recruiting. And I love this. I think probably one of the greatest things ever written in our company, ever distributed to our company, was from How to Build a Super, this is in How to Build a Super Hierarchy. It's in Larry Weidell's 21 recruiting laws, or I don't know, it's on his website. You can go get it. But that Larry Weidell's 21 game plan to recruiting, I can't remember what he calls it. But this is the best thing ever written in our company, y'all. And he says in there, recruiting is not a sometime thing, it's an all the time thing. I want to say that again. Recruiting is not a sometime thing, it's an all the time thing. Said if you talk recruiting 100% of the time, you could grow recruiting fast. If you talk recruiting 99% of the time, it falls in half. If you talk recruiting 98% of the time, it stops. So the question I started asking, what is the other 2% or the other 1% that people are talking about? Is they're talking about other things besides recruiting. See, if you want to focus on investments, that's fine, but talk about recruiting to investments. Talk about recruiting so you can build that business. But it should always be from a recruiting perspective. See, big time recruiting is a momentum process. It's all about momentum. It's much easier to prevent a slump than it is to turn one around. And so the question is, are you constantly thinking about growth and recruiting growth and getting the momentum going? So in Primerica, you got to understand this, okay? 80% are going to quit. Are you surprised? You shouldn't be. Why? Because it happens with everything. It's human nature. It has nothing to do with you. 80% of people don't quit because you suck. 80% of people quit because they're quitters. Now, they might change at some point in their life. Y'all, I quit. I joined Primerica and I quit. I'm not a quitter. It was the wrong timing for me. So when I came back to Primerica and the timing was right, I said, this is where I'm going to bet my life. This is what I'm going to do with my life. So the people that quit, follow up, treat them good. Tell them they're awesome. Don't lie to them. Don't tell them, hey, I'm proud of you for quitting, whatever. But treat them good. Love on them. Keep a relationship with them. Maybe one day they'll come back. But don't fight it. Don't fight that 80% of people quit. Accept it and use it to your advantage by understanding that the numbers are the numbers. Now think about this, okay? If 80% of people quit, they're going to average one thing before they quit. You know what? Do you want that one thing to be a recruit or to be a sale? Okay, think about this for a second. You recruit 10 people, 8 of them quit. Of the 8 people that quit, they're going to do one thing before they quit on average. Would you like it to be a recruit or a sale? And this is the thing. A lot of people, they focus on a sale because if you're a field trainer, you're trying to make your car payment. You go, man, if I can close a sale, I can make some money. But if you close a sale with that recruit and they quit, they didn't get nothing for it. They don't really care. And you didn't get nothing for it either. You got a one-time commission and it's over. I want it to be a recruit. You know why? Because if I get a recruit, now when they quit, I still replace them. I still got somebody to work with. So all the time and effort and energy, the prospect, the phone call, the appointment, the everything that got me that recruit When they quit, if I have a recruit under them, I still got something for all that work. I want it to pay dividends. And this is why if you recruit 10 people, 8 of them are going to quit, 2 of them are going to stick. Of the 2 people that stick, 1 of them are going to become a district leader. So here's where you got to start thinking, okay? Now you're starting to recruit. But now if you keep your recruiting numbers the same, every time you recruit the same amount of people, your team is going to stay the same size. So many people are trying to grow, but the recruiting number is the same every month. Your team's going to stay the same size unless you grow your recruiting. But see, what happens is you grow your recruiting and you add more leaders. When you have a new leader, they can help you grow that number next month. But they've got to see what growth looks like from you so that they focus on growth as well. So your focus should always be, I've got to get everybody a recruit. It doesn't matter who comes in. The first thing, it should be like that song or that show like with Jamie Foxx, Beat Shazam. I don't know if he's still doing. I've never even seen it, to be honest with you, but I know what it is, right? He's trying to name the song before Shazam could name the song, right? It's like name that tune. You should be doing the same thing with a recruit. As soon as you get a recruit, the first thing you got before they can think, you got to get a recruit underneath them. Why? So you can either replace them or you can continue to grow. But let me ask you, what percentage of people that you recruit can get at least one recruit? 100%, right? Everybody that you can recruit can at least get one recruit. And the question is that happening? See, that's your job as the trainer. It's not the trainee's job. They don't know how to recruit someone. They don't know how to set an appointment. They don't know how to do a presentation. So if they all can at least get one recruit, whose job is it to make that happen? It's the trainer's job. This is why relationships are so important. Treat people good, because the longer you keep people around, the more people they're going to bring. See, I want you to understand. When I got recruited under Brandon Neal, I was 7 deep. 7 deep. I ended up direct to Brandon Neal. That means 6 people in between us quit. Everybody quit. All of them. If any of them would have stuck around, they'd have made 40 grand a month from our business. 40 grand a month. All they had to do was stay. All they had to do was stick around, but they didn't. They quit. But see, what Brandon did is he recruited someone, kept him around long enough to recruit 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 me. And I understood the same concept and did the same thing. And eventually a hierarchy was born out of that. So you got to fall in love with the recruiting. You got to love the process of recruiting. That's your job. You're a talent scout. You're a coach. And are you really a coach? See, a coach is always thinking about not this season, but what is going to happen next season and the season after that. Isn't that what a coach is always thinking? See, a coach doesn't think, man, this is my first year coaching. This is what our team's going to be like. If we don't win the championship the first year, we suck as a team. No, they're not thinking that. It takes time to build a championship organization. Yes or no? But they're always thinking about what is the next player they should recruit. The NBA recruits every year, don't they? The NFL recruits every year, don't they? The military recruits every day. See, recruiting gives you a chance to have an unlimited income potential because you can recruit as many people as you want. It eliminates the ceiling. There is no cap. The only thing that puts a cap on your business is if you keep the recruiting numbers the same. But if you grow them, your income will continue to grow. So I think first and foremost, you got to buy into recruiting. You've got to love it. It's got to become who you are. You got to be constantly thinking about it, talking about it. Everywhere you go, you got to be looking at people as a new recruit, someone who can grow your business. And then when someone comes in, yes, you need to train them. Yes, closing training sales is important because if you don't close training sales, you don't make any money. And if you don't stay in business long enough to build a business, then it's never going to happen for you. So the training sales are important for 2 reasons. Number one is because you train the new recruit how to close a sale, but it also keeps you in business long enough to build one. So you get recruits underneath them. They see you closing sales. So now they're trained and you should be getting them promoted. Because as you get people promoted, what happens is people get promoted. See, in order for people to get promoted, they got to have recruits and they got to have what? Sales, which means they got to make some money. And as they start making money, their belief of whether or not they can do this goes up. See, the byproduct of recruiting, see, every decision you make in your life is going to have a a byproduct. Okay. Every decision you make in your life. If you eat McDonald's for breakfast, your byproduct is you're going to get fat and get diabetes. It's just a fact, right? People say, Jeff, that's offensive. I don't care. It's true, right? If you drink soda every day, odds are you're going to get diabetes. You're going to be overweight. It's a simple decision. You could choose a bowl of oatmeal and an apple for breakfast instead of McDonald's. And it's the same choice, but a different decision, just small. The same thing when you get into business, the byproduct, right? What happens if you decide to recruit large numbers and train them is you get more leaders and make more money. And that's what we all want, isn't it? That's what we all want. That's why we're here. So what happens when you start developing new leaders is you start looking at it, go, okay, your job, like one of the things I always ask our RVPs, I say, when's the last time you produce a new direct district that wrote a sale without you? That's how you know if you're really growing. I want you to write it down, write all your directs and say, when's the last time you got a new direct licensed district and wrote a sale without you? When was the last time that happened? That will tell you whether or not you're growing. And every new direct district leader you will raise the floor of your business of what it will do consistently. So you should be doing about 3 by 3 for every direct district leader that you have in your business. That's what you should expect. So no matter what people say, no matter how good they sound, the only thing that keeps them around is a team. That's the only thing that keeps them around. You say, well, Jeff, they're making money. They're making 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 grand a month on their own, man. They ain't going to quit. If they don't have a team, they still could. But if they got a team and they got someone they think is going to go RVP, they ain't going to quit. Because people are more worried about what they're going to lose than they are what they're going to gain. And they don't want to lose out and go, man, I could have been that guy that overrode the next $1 million earner. So you got to understand this philosophy as you're a recruiter and a builder. What happens is, let's say you go sprint and you go get 5 directs this month, okay, which you should be doing every month, okay? Because we know 20% of people are going to pop up. What's 20% of 4? Less than 1. So if you want to grow, your biggest issues, you got to stop letting the numbers beat you. Stop that crap. If you know the numbers and you know 20% of people are going to step up, why do you ever recruit 4 or less? Because 20% of 4 is less than 1. Don't you want to get at least 1 leader this month? If you want to get 2, you know what the numbers are. But let's say you go, Jeff, I want to at least get 1. Well, you got to get 5 directs because we know out of 5 directs, 1 of them is going to go sprint to district. 1 of them is going to get off to a fast start. And what's going to happen is one of those people is going to say, man, I want to go get it. And they're going to go get a recruit. And then it's your job to get them a recruit, your job. And 4 deep from that, you're going to find a superstar. So this is where you start finding leaders, is you have to get those 5 directs. And then one of those people are going to allow you to taproot down into their market. And 4 deep from that or deeper, you're going to find a superstar who says, man, I'm ready to make this thing happen. I want to become an RVP. But the question is, how do you build that every month? Do you go look for that group of people every month? Do you recruit 5 directs? Do you find the one who says, let's go for it? And then do you drive that sucker down as fast as you can to find that superstar who says, let's go? But that's what it looks like. If you go recruit 10 directs this month, 2 are going to stick. But think about this. If you go get that 1 direct and you drive it 10 deep, 10 stick. So you got to recruit the 5 directs to get 1 to stick, right? But then you drive that sucker deep and they all stick because now they all got a team. So people ask me, when we moved to Las Vegas in 2011, our first month, this is what happened. In July of 2011, our base shop, we started from scratch. It was just Kelsey and I. Our first month, I recruited 10 directs and we did 14 team. Okay, so July of 2011, our base shop did 14 recruits, 10 of them were directs. In August of 2011, we did 11 directs and 31 recruits base shop. So our second month at a brand new city, didn't know a single person. We recruited 31 people in our base shop. 11 of them were directs. Our third month in September of 2011, we broke the Nevada state record. We did 91 recruits in our base shop, and we recruited another 10 people direct. So I want you to think, we went from 0 to recruiting 90 people a month, 90 in 90 days. Why? Because of this concept. I understood I had to recruit 10 directs a month. My goal was to recruit 10 directs a month for 6 months. By the third month, I had appointments coming out my ears. I couldn't look left. I couldn't look right. Man, when somebody would quit, I'd almost be excited. I had too many appointments. I couldn't do them. I was putting every single licensed agent on our team to work. We had appointments coming out our ears because we had so many recruits. I mean, think the third month, we did 90 recruits just the third month. That didn't include the 30 the month before, which is 120, the 14 month before. We recruited 140, 150 people inside of 3 months. All because of this. But you got to have recruiting growth. So the first thing you've got to get growing is your recruiting. And then every single month, look, I just challenge you to do something. I promise you it will change your life. If you say, you know what, Jeff, it's January, it's perfect. I'm going to grow my recruiting for 12 straight months. Every single month, month over month, my recruiting is going to be bigger than the last month. You grow your recruiting for 12 straight months, you're going to change your life. See, here's what I know about the business. I know that most people quit, most people are scared. But if they have a recruit, they show up and they're excited. I want to say that again. Most people quit and most people are scared. That was me. But if they have a recruit, they show up and they're excited. Listen, our business was built to grow fast through compound recruiting. You know, we always talk about compound interest, which is true, by the way. So I hope you're saving and investing your money, because one day your investments will pay you more money than Primerica ever will. And that's called compound interest. Well, you don't have to do nothing. That rule of 72 just sends you more money. But the same thing happens with recruits. But you don't compound your recruiting by working with the same person. You compound by going deep and recruiting people in that leg and working with teams of people. So when you get somebody, just talk to them about recruiting their 3 to 5 best people. They'll still have their entire market to go see, and that gives you 3 to 5 new people to work with. See, most people just don't believe they can go get 50 recruits. I know we talk to them about recruiting big numbers and we talk to them about all this, but they don't believe they could do it. It's good for you to believe it as a coach. You need to believe in it before they do, but they don't believe they can do it. But they do believe they could recruit 2 or 3. Everybody, when they start, we know, think about when you got started, you believe you could recruit 2 or 3 people. Yes or no? You thought, man, I could recruit. I got 3 or 4 friends I've been talking about my whole life. We could go change the world together. You believe you could recruit 2 or 3 people. And if they can get their 2 or 3, we can go get those 2 or 3, and we can go start compounding and building a business. But listen, y'all, if they don't believe it, they won't try it. But what they believe, they'll attempt. If anything I say today, you forget everything, that's fine. But just remember this. If they don't believe it, they won't try it. But what they believe, they'll attempt. You've got to get people to believe enough so that they'll at least try. And that's your job, by the way. So the trainer's job, when you get a recruit, is to recruit them 3 and close 3 sales. Show them how to do that. That's your job. Your job as a trainer. You know, it's always funny. People come into the business, they recruit this person's a stud or whatever. And man, they say, man, I got the stud. And then they don't do anything. You go, what happened to so-and-so? Go, oh yeah, man, I guess they're a dud. Well, what happened when they came in? They were a stud. What'd you do to screw them up? You know, it's always like, man, well, they wouldn't set any appointments. And the trainer's going, man, if they'd set some appointments, I'd train them. And the trainee's thinking, man, if my trainer trained me, I'd set some appointments. It's kind of like the pastor says, man, if the congregation would bring more people, I'd preach better. And the congregation's going, man, if the pastor would preach better, I'd bring some more people. But who's going to take responsibility? At the end of the day, it's your business. So who should take responsibility? It should be you. It's your job to do the training, right or wrong. I said this already. Fear of loss is far more powerful than the potential for gain. So if you get them 3 recruits, they know they got a team. They don't want to lose that. They'll be in class. They'll show up to the meeting. They'll go get a license. What keeps people around as a team? So as I close up, here's kind of some things that I like to talk to people about. I ask them, you want to be a salesperson? You want to get overrides? See, doesn't everybody join our business for overrides? Everybody. Who joins our business says, man, I'm going to be a professional salesperson? Nobody. Now, people come into Primerica, they want to be a recruiter, and then they settle for sales. Yes or no? They settle for sales, but they all came in because of the overrides. Everybody that joins Primerica looks at all these people winning. They go, look at all these derelicts making all this money. If they did it, I could do it. Man, that guy's goofy. They'll point out all these goofy looking people that give them hope. And they think, man, I can make a lot of money because of that guy. But then they settle for sales instead of buying into overrides and building a hierarchy. See, I want to override. I think you do too. And if you want to override, you got to recruit and train leaders to get overrides. I know most people don't want to work. It's fine. Most people don't want to sell, but everybody wants overrides. So what are you selling? Are you selling overrides? Are you talking about how they can build a business, how they can get free one day, how they can achieve their goals and dreams? What are you selling? Because what you sell is what people are going to buy. And what they buy coming into the business determines their actions. So I tell people, listen, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to help you build a team and a client base. You're going to watch me recruit you 3 teammates and help 3 clients get educated. They could be the same people. The only thing I can't do for you is get a license. So your job is to get a license. We do this and the company's going to give you a bonus of what, maybe you guys got a bonus program on top of the companies or whatever it is, right? So most people do it in a week. Some people do it in a day. How fast do you want to go get licensed? And so now I got them thinking about, man, I want to recruit a team. I'm going to watch this guy. I'm going to get him in front of people. He's going to recruit me 3 people. He's going to get me 3 clients. I just got to go get my license as soon as possible. So that's my job as a trainer, to get them thinking about, all I got to do is get my trainer in front of people. He's going to do the job, or she's going to do the job. And then I got to go get a license because they can't do that for me. What else do I need them thinking about? Nothing. They'll learn everything else along the way. So you got to keep it simple and exciting. A confused mind always says no. A confused mind always says no. This reminds me of one time my wife and I, we were at this clothing store, and at the clothing store, right at the cash register, they have like this wall of candy, which is a smart upsell idea for parents to buy their kids candy, right? So there's this wall of candy, and there's this mom, this mom in front. She had 2 kids. She was by herself, and it was Kelsey and I, and we had our 3 kids, and this mom in front, her kids say, "Mom, can we get a candy bar?" And there's this long line behind us. And she says, "Yeah, you can go pick one." And the first kid grabs one and runs up, and here, Mom. And the second kid is looking at this wall of candy and starts bawling, right? And the mom's going, "Hurry, hurry, hurry, hurry," right? And the kid cannot pick a candy bar. Why? There's too many options. I mean, this kid is bawling and crying in front of 100 people because there's too many options. So I just say, "Hey, do you mind if I help?" And the mom says, "Yeah, sure." So I go, "Hey, you want chocolate or you want something sweet?" Right? I help this little kid pick a candy bar just by giving him alternative choices, right? Like we are always taught, Monday or Wednesday, 6 or 8, whatever. I just do the same thing with some candy bars. Kid go, boom, excited. But see, a confused mind will always say no. People shut down when they got too many options. It's your job as the leader to keep it simple. It's your job as a leader to keep it exciting and keep them focused on what matters most. See, I didn't bring you in this business to sell. I brought you in this business to build a business so you can make money from overrides. Can y'all say overrides? So in order to do that, you got to teach people the multiples. I love the multiples. The multiples work if you work them. I want you guys to think about this. We recruited 14 our first month, 31 our second month, 91 our third month. That's the multiples. I didn't do that by myself. We recruited the multiples, 3, 9, 27, 81, 243, 729. You got to start teaching people the multiples and how fast this sucker can grow. So the question I have for you, if you could turn 3 into 100 in the next 6 months, would you allow me to do that for you? Here's some easy questions you can ask a new recruit to get them thinking about building a business. Your mindset as a leader should be hire them faster than they quit. Every business has turnover. Did you know Walmart, if they stopped hiring for 12 months, they would be gone forever? It would happen a lot faster than that. It'd probably happen in the next 60 or 90 days. They have to recruit. Walmart must constantly be recruiting. They have to. They don't have a choice. It's not like Walmart can say, "Hey, let's stop recruiting this month." They can't do that. They have to. You got to hire them faster than they quit. You got to have a sense of urgency. It's kind of like a horseshoe. You know, if you make a horseshoe, and when's the best time to work a horseshoe? When it's hot. So when's the best time to get a new recruit for a recruit? When they're hot, right when they join, right when they're excited. So you got to constantly be urgent with people. Why? Because it's an 80% chance they're going to quit. And if they're going to quit, what's the one thing you want them to do before they quit? Get a recruit. Whose job is it to be urgent? Yours. Whose job is to get the recruit? Yours. So if you're constantly talking to old people, you're going to be frustrated. But you give an old dog energy by getting them a puppy. Right? You take this old recruit, been around a while, show up with a bad attitude, get them 5 or 10 or 15 recruits, start seeing them break records. Man, they're excited. All of a sudden they show up with a smile. They sit in the front row. They're taking notes. Man, they're fired up. Their energy changes. And I'm going to end with this because I think this is what changed our recruiting perspective forever. And that was when I got a new recruit and I did a top 25 list or a top 50 list or a top 100 list. You know what my job is as a leader? Is to make your friends my friends. See, if I can make your friends my friends, if you quit, your friends are still my friends and I'm going to recruit them. But if you stay, I'm going to make our friends your team. So my job is to make their friends my friends. This is a relationship building business. People ask me all the time, Jeff, if there's one skill, or if there's one thing you could learn, what would it be? The most important thing, listen, in life, this is not just in business, this is in life. And y'all watch the Ortiz family do an amazing job at this. And I'm sure y'all notice it, but especially when someone points it out. What is the most important skill you can learn in life that'll help you build a business, that'll help you have a great life, that'll help you get wealthier than ever before, that'll help you be happier than ever? You know what that skill is? People skills, relationships. You learn to do that, and your future is unlimited. Your future is so bright. You won't have to worry about nothing. So I hope this morning that I can help take your focus and help. I know they've been talking about recruiting, but I think y'all could take those recruiting numbers I just saw from recognition. I think you could double them or triple them next month. The business is supposed to compound. The business is supposed to grow. Imagine what would happen to your attitude, your excitement, your vision for the year if you doubled your recruiting by next month. If next month, when they did recognition at the beginning of February for January, that you doubled or tripled what you did in December, you'd be bouncing off the walls. But more importantly, your team would see your hope, your excitement, the energy. They would feel it. So I hope it helps. Jason, man, thanks for asking me to be on this morning. Hopefully provided some value, but honored to call you my friend, brother.
I got you. Go ahead.
Jeff, that was incredible, man. Oh my gosh. Hey, if you guys are on Zoom, go ahead and unmute real quick and give it up for Jeff real quick. Give it up for Jeff.
Let's go!
Jeff, appreciate Jeff.
They can't unmute.
Oh, they can't unmute?
Nope,
okay.
I won't let them.
Okay. No worries. Let me show you guys something, man. Jeff, the honor is ours, man, to consider you a friend of ours, man. We really appreciate it. I'm just trying to share my screen here. So you guys can see this, man. I'm telling you, I've always viewed Jeff and Kelsey as friends, of ours, or legends, man. And you look at a couple of months back, man. Jeff was in town in Tampa, and he was like, man, you know what? I'm in town. I'm checking out. I'm buying a catamaran, right? And I'm gonna be in town, just kind of viewing this thing. And we said, man, why don't you come out? We're gonna take the boat out, come out with us, man. Him and Kelsey came out with us. We got a chance to hang out with the legend crew right here. Look at that. We got Will Moreau, Jeff Dance, Jake Cruzet, BXB. Man, I'm repping BXB right there for y'all. We got the locket right there, man. It's just absolutely incredible. And then when we were out in Las Vegas about a month ago for my brother-in-law's birthday, man, we just reached out to you and say, man, it would be just an amazing thing to hang out with you. And we got a chance to play some golf out there in Vegas. So, man, it's just amazing to hear that, man. And I see every time that you get started, ever since I see Jeff, man, every time I see it, it just gets better and better and better and better, man. And it's just an honor to have you on here with us, man. We really appreciate it. Let's give it up to Coach Ed real quick to say a final word, and then we'll close it out. Let's have an awesome weekend. Coach Ed, you there?
Yep, I'm right here, man. Jeff,
Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much, man. Wow, that was great training, man. And you know, the one thing that impressed me the most is hearing great wisdom from a young person. That is so awesome, man. That is tremendous blessing. And I thank you so much for everything that you brought to the table. I mean, the wisdom that you brought us to this morning. Phenomenal training. I mean, one thing that I got was prepare to win versus prepare to survive. And you're absolutely right, man. A lot of folks come in our business just to survive this thing. And it's not about that. This is about getting financially set, financially free, financially independent, living the life of your dream like you're doing right now, man. And that is something that I'm so impressed, man. And just to see where you came from. I still remember 2011, where all of a sudden it was like, man, where did this guy come from? I mean, he's in Vegas, and all of a sudden, he just got to Vegas, he's already recruiting over 30 people within a month or two, and it blew us away. But and we were not really impressed because I've seen you do this up in is it Iowa or Idaho? You know what? I mean, I know you went from Utah, you went up there and you tore it up. You tore that thing up, and then you went to Vegas, and it was like a confirmation, just letting everyone know, hey, listen, that was not a fluke. Let me show you how it's really done, man. And you took it to the next level, blew us out. And that's when we all, especially myself, said, man, we got, this is a superstar in the making here. And what you brought to the table is exactly what our team needs to hear. It's exactly what I wanted to hear. Exactly, you just touched the heart, man. And I just, I'm just so grateful just to have you on this call. And I thank you, Jason, and I thank you, Eric, for putting this together. You guys are awesome. The whole team is awesome, man. And we're going to do something big. 2022 is going to be absolutely phenomenal. It's a great start the way we're doing it here. We just need to take it to the next level. And also, Jeff, I want you to know, anytime you're in Tampa, mi casa es su casa, okay? I mean, you're here. I mean, this is your second home. So feel free to get with us, man, because I mean, you got your second home here. And I thank you so much, man. And I thank the team. I thank for every single one of you that are on this call. I hope you got, man, if you just got half of what I got, man, I'm telling you, you got a ride, man. You got a phenomenal instruction to take this to the next level. So thank you. Thank you so much, Jeff. I sincerely appreciate it. Love to Kelsey. It's awesome. Good job. Great job.
Thank you,
Jay,
bro.
I pass it back to you, my friend. Come on, my son.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. Jeff, once again, man, thank you so much. Let's go have a good day. Let's go have a great weekend. Don't let your weekend be a weekend. It's your strong end, right? And man, let's apply everything that we put in place, man. Y'all know how we ended off. I'm gonna say we are. Y'all say aviators. We are
aviators. Oh. Thanks, Jeff.